Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us for tonight's edition of HR Mentorship Learning Series. My name is Oluyemi Adeosun. Tonight, we'll be having a regular facilitator, and we are always happy, excited to have her back, Ujowa Somtochukwu. And tonight, she'll be speaking on the topic, managing the people side of transformation, strategies for HR professionals. I'd like to read very briefly our profile. Ujunwa is a strategic HR business entrepreneur and transformational business leader. In addition to this, ladies and gentlemen, she has over 15 years of progressive experience across diverse industries, including manufacturing, information technology, digital payment, oil and gas, real estate, transportation, and mining. All right. She's known for her grace, grit, and groundedness. Ujunwa spent her career aligning people, culture, and systems to help organizations grow, not just in profit, but in purpose. Her expertise lies in organizational design, restructuring, digital HR transformation, and performance optimization, also not forgetting change management. And all of this is rooted in deep commitment to integrity and also impact. Currently, she serves as the country HR business partner and head of administration at GetDev Nigeria. Don't worry, I'm pronouncing our company's name with Yoruba. It's a German company, I believe. She has led key regional transformation that have reduced costs, elevated engagement, and built leadership capacity across borders. Our work has also unlocked millions in savings, boost workforce performance, and prepared organization for the future of work. She holds a degree from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. She has a BSc in economics, and she also has a master's degree from University of Derby, UK, where she got a master's in human resource management. She has executive certifications from the prestigious Harvard Business School, Techidia Institute, and the University of Maryland. Professionally, she holds membership and certifications from the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, Human Resource Certification Institute, USA, Nigerian Institute of Training and Development, IIBA, and Chartered Institute of Personnel Development, UK. Speaking to us tonight on the topic, managing the people side of transformation, strategies for HR professionals. Please let's welcome Ujunwa Somtochukwu. You have the floor, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. I'm truly excited to be with you here today to explore what I believe is the heart and soul of every successful transformation, the people side. Before we dive in, I would like to share a personal story that would see more as we progress. Early in my career, right, I was part of a major project, transformation. The first one is digital transformation. The second one is cultural transformation. Cultural, I was part of it. Digital, I led it. It looks so perfect on the paper, but failed woefully in execution. Why? Because while we were meticulously planning the technical aspects, we had completely underestimated the human elements. And this particular experience fundamentally changed how I approach transformation. And that is why I'm passionate about what I'll be sharing with you today. And then as we proceed in the course of this session, you would learn in details why it failed. All right, before we dive in, let's align with what we plan to achieve today. The first and foremost is I will walk you through actionable strategies that you can implement immediately. It's not just theory, it's concepts or concept that sounds good. It's tested strategies that we face in real work organization. And the second point, I'm going to be challenging you in common conception that it's all about systems and processes, right? And trust me, beyond systems, processes, and strategies. Successful transformation depends on people engagement. And then finally, I would want to inspire you to lead differently. All right. 70% of transformation fails, not because of strategy, right? But because of people-related issues. And this research was carried out by McKinsey. Now let's sink it deep for a moment. Despite all our knowledge on change management, sophisticated technologies, methodology, 7 out of 10 transformations fail to deliver valued promises. Now think about your organization. How many transformation initiatives have you seen launched with fanfare only to appear or only to disappear months later, quietly, right? How many have you delivered? How many of them, those transformation, has delivered its full potential? These statistics we are seeing here suggest that most of our experience is basically disappointment rather than transformation that have succeeded. When we analyze what actually went wrong, you will see that most of the times, we as people, either as a leader or as an architect or as a change agent, that we are failing to answer questions from employees or our colleagues. Will I still have my job? How would my role change? Do I have the skill to succeed next? And without addressing these human concerns, technical excellence means nothing. And this challenge is even more acute today, where we are operating in a business environment characterized by unprecedented changes, rapid digital evolution, economic pressures, shifting workforce expectation, and most importantly, AI disruptions. These forces demand transformation, yet our approach is often mechanical and technical. So I ask you, in your various workplace, how ready are your people, not just your systems, for the next change? When was the last time you measured transformation readiness through a human lens rather than technical one? All right, let's start by getting a clear understanding of what transformation means, because most times we misunderstand it. What is transformation? It is not just a change. Change on its own is doing what we already do, but doing it better. But transformation, right, is a fundamental reimagining of what you do and how you do it. Let's take an instance of a vehicle. Change is about might be upgrading the car engine or replacing the engine. But transformation, on the other end, is replacing the car with an entirely new mode of transportation. It's comprehensive and often disruptive by design. We have 4 core examples or types of transformation. The first one is digital transformation. Digital transformation goes beyond implementing new strategies. Let's, for instance, take a retail bank, right? It's not just about adding a digital banking feature. Digital transformation here would be reimagining the entire customer journey and what it means to be a banker in the digital era. If you look at cultural transformation, it is a shift of mindset and values. Remember the story of Microsoft, the lady, Satya Nadella, that transformed Microsoft from a competitive silo culture to a centered, to a one that is centered on growth mindset. It's just a shift of mindset, right? And then organizational transformation goes beyond changing organograms or changing work chart or whatever. It's more or less like reimaging how teams are formed, how they collaborate, and how they deliver value. And then last but not the least is leadership. I will use an example here, right? When there is a leadership transformation, it could be that they are changing their leadership from being a directive one to a leadership that coaches and empower people. Let's say you now want our frontline workers, right, to take decisions that we previously would have required multiple approval. This is a major transformation with leadership, on leadership transformation, I mean to say. And each of these transformation you see here creates a profound implication for our workforce. They generate uncertainties about the future. They will demand new skill sets and mindsets. And most importantly, right, they will demand the positions of HR to anchor the psychological safety during these changes. So with this understanding of what transformation means, now let's move to what we mean by people's side of transformation. The first time I worked in a business transformation, I approached it as a logical process. You design the future state, you create a plan, you execute a plan. But I quickly learned, right, that transformation does not just follow linear path, because human beings are involved, and human beings don't experience change logically. They experience it emotionally. That is why this particular 5 framework you're seeing, it's my own framework of is an easy understanding of the people's side of transformation, right? Whether people will accept it, adopt it, or sustain the way of the new working. When I talk about leadership alignment, it just ensures that leaders model the change and communicate with one voice, right? It's not that a CEO or leadership team would say, okay, we are going on a digital transformation, digital first, that is their most slogan. And then they will end up cutting costs on every budget that has to do with the digital transformation, which means they are saying one thing and they are doing another thing. And that is leadership alignment. They need to align. When you say we are looking at digital transformation, which means every budget allocated to this digital transformation should not be touched because it's already planned. The second point is the second side of people's side is trust and communication. I can't help but keep putting trust before communication because it builds transparency and psychological safety, right? And this transparency builds the trust that we need during the time of uncertainties. And then you look at the capabilities and skill readiness. This side of people just makes sure that we address both the technical skills and the adaptive mindset needed for the new environment we are moving to. Then we look at engagement and involvement. It's all about carrying the employees around along, right? Giving them this mindset that we are co-creating this together. The last but not the least is culture and reinforcement. This particular aspect ensures that all systems, right, so are aligned and sustained with the new behavior. All right. Understanding this framework actually helps us to identify specific changes that undermine transformation efforts from the people's side. So let's explore the other the common challenges we have with transformation. Now we've understood the people's side, right? You would agree with me that if transformation was easy, we won't see 70% failure And most of the times, those beautiful ideas we have in our mind, we image in our mind, have the pictures everywhere, will be created in a twinkle of an eye, right? But it's not. Now, these common challenges is what normally comes up during transformation. It's not just theory, it's practical problems, reality that we face on every transformation initiative that we. The first challenge is resistance to change. It's not about being stubborn. It's the natural response of human being. You agree with me, right? Um, if you're bringing because their jobs are at risk, they will do everything to resist the change because they know that their job is at risk. It's not stubbornness. And that will link me to the capability gaps, right? Communication gap. And this is the challenge we often see, the fundamental disconnection, right, between leaders and the strategy or whatever it is that the transformation that they are bringing in. You hear terms like, I don't understand why they are resisting the change. That is exactly what one of my MDs used to say then when during the digital transformation. Which I don't understand why they are, it's for their own good. I have explained this over and over again. Does it mean that they don't understand it? They do. It's just that you are seeing it from the top, but they are the ones it's being affected. Is being affected, is affecting, right? So, and this is a blind spot from the leaders. So, this skill capacity, capability gap would actually come in. Now we are bringing in AI. The coders are scared of losing their jobs, but we need someone capable to manage AI. All these are challenges. And then the one that is subtle is competing priorities. You see people hiding under the disguise of that are busy. Of course, they are busy because it's competing with their day-to-day activities. But when they want to resist change, they will hide under the I am busy. We have other things to do. This project, this transformation, blah blah blah, just to resist it. All these are common challenges we see during transformation. But these challenges are predictable and manageable with the right approach. In fact, organizations that effectively address this side, people's side of change, right, are 6 times more likely to meet and exceed their objectives. Okay, with this understanding, now we have to look at how do we manage these challenges. Practical strategies. The first one would be defining a change structure. Under this particular one, we have 2 major change structures. We have the ADCAR, and then we have the Porter. The 2 of them are okay. ADCAR just ensures that guides everybody. So ADCAR is coming from the bottom top, whereas the Porter is coming from top bottom. With ADCAR, you give people are the people that are going to experience the change are the ones driving the change. But with Porter, it gives the leaders in charge and the change manager overview of areas they need to identify to drive the change. So either of them is okay, but on a if you want to achieve, I would recommend that you bring the both of them. You use the quarter 8 steps to manage as from coming up from the leadership leaders of the change, and then you use the ADCAR to manage the employees. Because of time, we'll not delve into it, but if there is any question that comes up on this change structure, I can respond to it. Now, the second point, the second strategy here is purposeful communication. Communication during transformation is not about information transfer. It's about creating meaning. I would recommend storytelling. It's about creating meaning and giving the narrative regarding the transformation. The communication should be answering three core questions. The first one is, why is this change necessary? Where are we going to? And how do we get there? Whatever communication or narrative you have should address this question, three questions. And in the process, the response is simple enough for every leader to communicate consistently at every level. This communication challenge, right, is very important, especially for leaders. I could remember during the culture transformation in the past, the one I was part of it. So you hear leaders, they would, during town hall meeting, leaders would communicate everything, will share it. This is coming up, this is coming up, this is coming up. But when you meet people, because we are as HR, we are the pioneers, we have the framework. When you meet leaders one-on-one, you have response like this. What do you say you people are doing? You will just be disturbing us. But they are the ones that said this is a change. But their communication, their inactions and inactions and subtle comments keeps demotivating people around them. So when I mean purpose-driven communication, it should be meaningful and with purpose. We should be mindful of those small comments that we drop that frustrate our colleagues. The third one is fostering genuine employee involvement. Transformation done to people creates resistance, right? But transformation done with people creates ownership. Now, speaking of the ownership mindset, that is one good thing about this change structure, because with this change structure we mentioned earlier, it gives HR, it gives multiple ownership to HR, it gives them framework and tool and expertise. To leaders, it's their role, they own the sponsorship and the expertise. And then to employee, the structure gives them the opportunity to shape and implement through the feedback and their involvement, right? The fourth strategy is psychological safety. Building a psychological safe environment. Transformation requires people to take risk. And when they are taking this risk, they need to admit what they don't know and what sometimes has failed. And this can only happen in an environment where they feel safe doing so. And a practical example of this would be we training our managers to handle listening sessions. One of the most successful transformation projects I've ever been involved. I cannot help but keep talking about the way we have listening cycles, we have heart-to-heart sessions, we have feedback. Along the line, we framed all the frequently asked questions, all the questions that are coming into frequently asked questions. We share it, we have sessions for this department globally, we have sessions for this, just to keep hearing. And this session is not just, we are not going to defend anything. It's okay if you don't know. Our own is for people to be authentic and express themselves and their fears. The fifth one would be investing in our workforce. Transformation often requires new capacity and capabilities. And people need to feel confident that they can succeed in their new environment. This is what this practical strategy is addressing. A personalized approach that would drastically increase people's confidence and reduce resistance. And then the last one, that's the sixth one, would be aligning roles and incentives with the new ways of working, which means without this alignment, people will naturally divert to old behavior. So we need to incentify them, and as much as possible, reward people that are living the values so that others would learn and continue. All right, the next topic would be, we've talked about how this, the challenges, we've talked about how to address the challenges, but there is this key role, and that is the leadership. No matter how we try to transform organizations, leadership plays a key role. And this particular slide talks about the behavior of leaders needed from leaders during that change. One, let's agree that people don't follow transformation plan, they follow their leaders. The first here is communication with hope and honesty. It's okay, we have this idea, this is where we are going to. It's okay if we don't know the nitty-gritty, how do we get there? And that is why we bring our team together to rub minds together. When you don't have the answer, it's okay. But most importantly, on this topic, it's important that we balance optimism about the future with the challenges we are facing, right? We should acknowledge the impact as leaders. We should acknowledge the impact this transformation is having on people, even when we are painting those pictures of our future. The second one is modeling adaptability. Leaders should demonstrate vulnerability and willingness to learn new approaches, because we know where we want to be, but how do we get there? No man is an island. So a leader should be open to learn new things, give permission to others to share their thoughts. The third one would be, we stay visible during on uncertainties. I'm smiling because during my failed transformation project, one thing is certain: you would never see my MD and would you please, I'm busy. They are hiding. Why are they hiding? They are not there to answer those burning questions. You can't find them, but yet they are the ones that said, let's proceed. So when the visibility that we need to drive the uncertainties is gathered from the trust we need to drive this uncertainty period is gathered from we staying visible. We maintain contact, we keep telling them, keep reassuring them during those sessions we are having. And then the last but not the least is holding people accountable. What support do you need? Where do you need me to help? How can we help you? Let's reinforce expectations while showing sympathy and empathy on this challenge. All right, before I proceed to the next slide, with all this, we now know how to manage what are the challenges we will experience during transformation, especially the people side. But the next slide, we'll talk about what I call 4 C's formula. This is mine. When I mean 4C's formula, okay, now the transformation is going on. How do we know we are successful? And these 4C's would give us insight whether we are progressing or not. One, clarity. Clarity answers the question, yes, our people understand the reason, the why behind the transformation. Capability answers, yes, our people are equipped for the success in the new era. So our team are confident to adapt to the new times, and as a result of the transformation. Commitment says yes. We have the buy-in beyond the rational and understanding of our people. We have the emotional buy-in, and culture says yes. Through our people, we are reinforcing these new norms of transformation. So we are upholding the mantra. I know most of you will be asking, how then do we get the yes or the feedback we need to confirm that these 4 areas or 4 formulas are actually yes? We can get it through surveys, we can get it through sessions, one-on-one, all those interactive moments during the process, during the transformation project, or even after post. You keep checking up on people, you keep asking for providing clarity, keep until the survey moves from, if it's rating, it moves from less than 3 to a minimum of 4.5. That's high. That is how you get these 4 formulas, get a yes on these 4 formulas. And then you would know that your transformation initiative is successful. Last slide is just my normal way of calling to action. So the central message I would want to take away today is that transformation doesn't happen to people, it happens through them. When we approach transformation as human experience rather than just a technical process, we unlock potentials that technical excellence cannot never achieve. So to recap this, I am saying first, transformation without people alignment is just disruption, which means that as much as we are investing in the technical, in the process, in the technology, we need to spend every hour and at least equal time on people experience, human experience. The second point would be communication and trust are the currency of successful change. This requires from moving beyond one-way forum or sharing of information to authentic dialogue. Create forums where concerns can be voiced out, questions can be asked, and leaders can demonstrate transparency, even when the answers are difficult. The third, we as HR professionals must shift from transactional to transformational partnership. This means that we will move beyond administrative support to becoming strategic architects of employee experience during change, because it gives us the unique opportunity to build bridges between business strategy and human impact. So whatever role you're holding as an HR professional, I call on you to be the bridge that translates strategies into human impact. And as a leader, be the mirror, model the change you want to see, lead through your actions and inactions. And then lastly, to everyone, be the movement, drive the transformation through trust and not resistance. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please feel free to ask your questions. Thank you. Hello, I hope you can still hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. I
Oh,
suppose maybe doctor is a little bit busy at the moment. Thank you so much. It's been a fantastic presentation you made. Um, let us appreciate her for the wonderful presentation with our emoji. Let's show appreciations, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So if you have any questions, please you can raise up your hands. So Benjamin, I can see your hands up. Benjamin, go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, I suppose his hand was erroneously up. Dr. Adeosun, are you still here?
Thank you
I
so
guess
much. Awesome presentation. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed myself. You have, thank you so much, my brother, Uncle K, from the brown roof city of Ibadan. Okay. If there's any questions or comments, we can take them, if any, or we're happy to call it a wrap. Today is a special day. Again, I must thank you for your ingenuity and your sacrificial disposition as always. This has not, she's doing this from her vehicle. You know, so much to give and to give in such a condition. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have any questions or comments, Abdullahi, you can go ahead with your question, comments, or contributions.
All right, good evening, everyone. All right, thank you, Ma, for that beautiful presentation. So my question will be on the practical strategies that you explained. And like you have mentioned, you made us realize that people have to be actively involved in order for the organization to achieve whatever transformation goals that they have set. But like you have mentioned too, resistance to change is a natural phenomenon among the employees or people generally. So how does an organization or the HR personnel try to manage those two competing concepts in order to achieve their set goal? Thank you, ma'am.
You know, they say what God can do, cannot do, does not. What communication can do does not exist. And communication in this place, in this instance, is not just coming from, it's not just coming from just the leaders, but the managers. It should be a platform where people, if you have any questions, any fear, let it start early. Anticipate the challenges. Like the case of coders, of course, they will resist to change because their jobs are affected. But if we start early, okay, let me give an instance. I think I've mentioned this before previously. So my organization, we are moving from box to software. And we have technical engineers. This is an organizational change and business, what do we called it? Business re-strategizing, and it's from 2023 to 2027. So what did we do? Of course, we know we had lots of engineers that are hands-on. We provided free courses online on the softwares we're going to use, gave them access to train themselves, to upgrade themselves, right? Because it's equally, with that, they would not resist. If at all they will resist, they will have the opportunity to upgrade to a new skill to get themselves ready for where we are going to. Right? It's all about you anticipate the change, what will it cost, and communicate. It's okay that they are resisting, maybe because of one issue, one selfish desire of you. Of course, as human, we can't run away from that. Or get them to talk, get them to share their fears, and then address their fears. I used to hear my MD say, we don't know the answers, but I'm jotting it down. In the next session, we'll answer your questions. So will the resistance come? It will come. But find out from them through the communication platforms we've opened. You ask your questions, send a mail to this. Let's have our talk, heart-to-heart sessions. What are your challenges? Find out their challenges and address it. Along the line, it will reduce, but will it be there? Yes, it will be there. I don't know if I answered your question. Did I?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. That was a beautiful response to it. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
And I have another one, ma. So
Okay.
the reason why is that we actually have something similar to what you discussed that we're trying to achieve at my place of work. So and as one of the person that is driving the project, so I can say some my boss normally refers to it as silent culture, like some behavior that's, even though when you are getting the feedback from the employees or you are trying to engage them and all that, so these are things that they really talk about, but you still see it in their attitude. So many times, even though when you are sending the anonymous survey out there for you to get their responses on how to improve the process or how to do things better in order to achieve the set goal that has been communicating with them. So you still find out that maybe due to one thing or the other, they really tell you what exactly they are feeling or they are going through. Maybe they will be looking at it from the angle that you are an HR person and they see an HR person many times as management, not people's how do I call it? Not people's advocates. So they see they see HR personnel or HR department as part of the management setting. So and while you are trying to drive this transformation, you discover that all these things that they don't normally talk about are the ones that are even one way or the other the main determinant of whatever it is that is happening there. So I just want to know how do we achieve, maybe through the communication, because I'm going to say this, we use all form of communications. We use anonymous suggestions that, even though if you cannot communicate, you can't tell the HOD, you cannot tell your HOD, you can't come to the HR department, you can drop it at the suggestion boxes. We have other platforms too that we use to encourage people to just give us their real feedback, not the face value feedback. So, and we rarely get, except, okay, the town hall meeting normally contributes well because at the time you discover that they really talk, but when you make them feel at home, they feel comfortable and they feel safe. Like you have mentioned, that psychological safety is very, very essential. It's very, very essential. So you see them trying to come up and say one or two things, but there are still some things that are not they were not saying, but you can see in the attitude that something is still not totally right. I just want to know if there is a means for someone to just get a better way of doing that. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So I'm going to answer these questions with two instances. One is beyond transformation. Okay. So the second one is what I saw. This first one would be what I do, or what I encourage leaders to do. When you get, I have this habit of, this is what I do. I have this habit of, I'll tell my MD, tell us stories with all the leadership team. Tell us stories. Where do you see us? Where do you want us to get to? What do you see us do? Where do you want us to be in the next? What is your dreams for this organization? Right? And this is me. That is how I get people to get involved. So which means when he finished telling the story, you hear me say, oh yeah, FD, how do you contribute to this? How do you make this work? And when the MD is sharing the vision, he'll be we're telling you what is in it for you. So we will be known in this sector, we'll get this, and then this would improve, this will affect you, affect us, and then we'll get more revenue. He will tell you the story and how it will affect you. So I am the one now when I say, FD, so what are you bringing to the table? Operations, what are you bringing to the table? By that, they are using the story MD told to create their KPIs and targets. If you bring it back to transformation, how did we achieve the one we did? We just concluded because employees were part of it. You see on our DWP intraportal, this is going on. If you're interested, we need people. You have to be willing to give 2 hours, and this is what is in it for you. So people are coming together to rub their minds, share their thoughts on how to drive this. And you'll see people that are driving the change in various departments and in various countries and subsidiaries and business units. So we come together virtually to take out this aspect of the transformation. We have some people handle this aspect of the transformation, and then you have the coordinators or change on top, giving them feedback, selecting and disapproving, giving you reasons why this will be approved. But it's employees that are coming up with the ideas, which makes it a bit difficult for them to resist because they are the ones that are coming up with the ideas, and it makes it easy for them to communicate. Please permit me to remove my video. And it makes it easier for them to tell the story to their fellow employees why this is happening. So it's not always from you because they are involved, they know why it's happening. It makes it easier for people to drive change. I don't know if this helps, if I responded to your question.
Yes, I believe it does. Thank you very much.
All right. Olayinka, please share your hands are raised up. And I saw, Ere, how do you build psychological safety when the colleagues do not trust management or believe that the transformation would benefit them? When you're running a transformation, you need to tell employees what is in it for them. It's part of the communication. Where are we going to? How do we get there? What do we need to do? What is in it for you? Why is this important? If they get what is in it for them, it makes it easier for them to know that, this is our own, this is our project, and then get involved. That colleagues don't trust their managers is because of previous, they say what they say is different from what they do. And it will take a long time for such to be corrected. But you can correct it when you get the employees involved to run their vision. So I used to say, you don't sit as HR to decide what you can do for employees. Find out from them what they want, align with management or leadership, how we can get this done. I don't know if I answered your question, Ere. Olayinka, please ask your question.
Okay, thank you, Ujunwa. I just want to contribute a little regarding the question that Abdullahi asked earlier regarding getting a genuine feedback from employees, either as a result of survey or what's it called? Employee, inquiry box, something like that, right? So I think the first thing needs to be that the reason why we're having that kind of feedback that are not genuine is because of the trust employee has either with the management or with the HR generally. So I think the first approach is that if you want to get the genuine feedback of employees, we need to for when we roll out that survey and we have your feedback, we need to give them feedback on that their response. So this is what I mean, like roll out the survey, people give feedback. You should be able to accumulate all the feedback every employee has sent to you and send it back to all employees. It's anonymous, you're not putting their name there this time around. Like, oh, this is the response we have so far. Oh, a lot of people said, okay, the culture is bad. Now let them add that feedback that, okay, truly you get their response. That will give you a sense of, okay, I think these people are listening, because it's a problem of listening now and hearing, like, these people are actually listening to what we are saying. So, because when we roll out survey, we just get the response. We don't give feedback on the survey, on the feedback we get. We're supposed to give feedback to that feedback to them. And truly, we receive your feedback, and this is what we'll be able to summarize so far from your feedback. Then after that, then action is to take place. Yes, we cannot do all the feedback, we cannot execute whatever they say there, but there should be a sign that, okay, from the feedback we got, out of maybe 10 things we've highlighted, right, we should be able to give a sign that we're actually working on one of them, right? So if we do that, it's sending a signal to them that, oh, truly, I think when I voice out, my voice is being heard. So when they roll out another form of anonymous survey again over the time, or they drop anything on their suggestion boards and everything, you'll be having genuine responses from them, because in everybody's mind now, it's showing that, okay, truly, I'm not just filling this form, I'm feeling it, and somebody in his office or the leaders, they're actually acting on my feedback and responses. So I think that is another better way we can get a genuine response from our employees. We roll out a private anonymous survey or a suggestion box. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Olayinka. Rita, your hand is up.
And good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you. I just wanted to address the other question that the speaker before this said about psychological safety. For any organization to succeed and move forward in this transformation program, there has to be a level of trust. And where trust is broken, to be able to create psychological safety, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of determination by the leadership. And one of the ways to do this will be to apologize for whatever it is that has caused the mistrust. Where there is trust that has been abused, it has to be openly discussed, probably 2 town hall meetings. And, leadership itself has to apologize and show its vulnerability. No one is perfect. For whatever mistakes that they have been able to make, then it has to be corrected and must be seen to be corrected. That's number one. Then number 2, they have to walk the talk. What do I mean by walk the talk? That means those mistakes that they want to correct, the ones that had caused the issue in the first place, after being addressed, leaders must show that they have a way to readdress it. So let's take a case, or when you're talking about absenteeism or favoritism, what are the things that makes this happen in the system? Once it's addressed, then they need to communicate it to every of the employees. And in communicating this to every employee, cascading it down, the leaders, as in maybe the second level, are the ones that most of the employees at lower and middle level will probably be conversing with. They have to be instrumental in knowing that there is a change that has come. And when they do this and they begin to walk the talk with them, everybody knows that every action is geared towards that change. Then the third one is communication. Communication, you cannot lose sight of communication. They need to engage continuously at meetings, at vocal meetings, at even within the organization. Then number 4, the gap that they have in order to address them, and when there are corrections, people that are, let me say now, behaving or trying to readdress those issues must be commended, and that results into celebrating people that are moving up from the things that have caused the mistrust, the change agent. These are the things that we must agree to. So when people are known that those changes, the positive changes that the organization wants to reenact, are being done by all, and the people that are championing it have to be commended and given an award, so that when they start celebrating those small wins, it becomes a culture. What is culture? It is the way of life of people. When you come to work and you see that, oh, there's a change in something that was wrong, then the people that are changing it, that we were calling them as change champion, are being commended and given an award. Every other person within the system begins to change. And this is reflected and cascaded down in the organization. So then the last one will also be is consistency. In as much as what has caused the issue has been on and for long, if we're changing, we will get discouraged at a certain point in time, because there's still the gap has been there. Bridging it is not going to be easy. So the more they talk about it and are consistent with the change, delegating it like, oh, these are the leaders that we want to enact the change. Are there people that are moving from the lower level in order to encourage? Because you must also identify the champions, the ones that can people easily relate with, the leaders. There are some leaders that don't have title, but because of their level of influence, the organization must begin to recognize them as well as influencers within the organization. And over time, when all those things are in place, then you can begin to conduct survey again, just to see if there are changes within the system. And the more those changes are being highlighted and addressed, the people, the employee will begin to trust the organization again. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Rita. That was so insightful. Thank you. All right, over to you, Prof. Prof.
Rita, your hand is up.
Yeah, she has spoken. We are just waiting for Prof. Think
Okay,
no other,
okay.
yes. All right, I would have to drop off here. Thank you everyone for your time, and do have a good evening. Bye.
Okay, everyone, let us unmute and show our appreciations and thank some people for this wonderful presentation. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much for the insightful presentation. Thank you.
Thank
Well
you. Bye,
done,
everyone.
Prof. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate you.
And thank you, Uncle K, for standing in too.
You're welcome, my brother.